Happy Small Farms Week. I'm Jennifer Brown, Family Consumer Science Agent with the North Carolina Cooperative Extension Service. March is National Nutrition Month, and we wanted to play a little game with you guys. We wanted to do a little fact or fiction game to celebrate Small Farms Week. So I'm going to ask a couple of different questions and see if you know the answers. So play along. Half of our plate or bowl should be filled with vegetables or fruit. So do you think this is a fact or a fiction? Well, it's a fact. If you look at the My Plate or visit the choosemyplate.gov website, you will notice that the My Plate has half of it being fruits and vegetables. So we want plenty of color on your plate. Organic produce is grown without pesticides. Do you think this is a fact or fiction? Well, it's fiction. It's not that it doesn't have pesticides. It has natural pesticides. So something that could be just in nature. For example, you could use copper sulfate as a fungicide, and that would make your crop or product still within the organic guidelines. Okay, it just cannot be a man-made pesticide that you are using. A product labeled gluten-free means it's better for me. This is in fact fiction. Now, if you have a gluten intolerance or gluten allergy, then yes, you need to make sure that the foods that you are eating are gluten-free. But we don't actually recommend that you eat a gluten-free diet unless you medically need to. There are plenty of products that have gluten in it, that have, wheat, barley, or rye in the product that are perfectly, healthy for you. You can have that whole wheat bread or the brown rice. But if you have an allergy, of course, you're going to have to stay away from it. It is more affordable to eat fast food than healthy, fresh food. Hopefully, you know whether this is a fact or fiction. It's fiction. I have a lot of people that often will say this to me, and it's really not true. Now, if you are going out to a fast food place and you're trying to find a healthier option, then yes, that salad is probably going to be more expensive than that burger or that chicken or whatever else you're going to get. But it's not that it's cheaper normally. It's just in that particular setting because they can, crank out plenty of chicken or plenty of burgers, on the grill, fry them in the fryer, and it would be done very quickly and in a cost-effective way. But the salads that they have are pretty much already, prepackaged and made that way. And it's going to cost them more, and they're only going to last for a certain amount of time. So they will charge more for those products because those are all different types of products into one particular salad. And they have to make sure they have enough refrigeration space and storage space to keep that cool over a period of time, or they're going to have more likely throw more of that away than they will the burgers or chickens that they make every day. But you can go to the grocery store and make a cheaper salad or even a cheaper, chicken meal than you can if you go to a fast food restaurant. Our bodies cannot digest dietary fiber. This is a fact. We want to make sure that we are getting fiber in the foods that we are eating. We're getting the whole grains. We are, whether it's, breads or rice, or even some of our fruits and vegetables have a lot of fiber and have a lot of other vitamins and minerals for us. We want to make sure that we are getting these things into our body, but fiber is also really good because it's going to help our entire system and keep us regulated. And it's also going to help you feel fuller. So maybe you aren't eating as much because if you're eating things with fiber, it'll make you feel full. Apples are on the list of genetically modified foods. Yes, I believe it was in 2017 they were added They were added to the genetically modified organisms or GMO list because they have been genetically modified to decrease browning and make sure that they last longer. And these are just a couple of different things. Not all of them, as you can see, are produce. It's not just crops as well. And some of the genetically modified things or microorganisms help us create medications, such as insulin and certain vaccines. Only older adults need to be concerned about bone health. Fiction. So hopefully just the word only kind of cued you into this one. We all need to be concerned about bone health. When you're a child, you've probably been told that you need to make sure you're drinking your milk. It's going to make you stronger. But as we get a little bit older, we need to be more concerned. We need to pay attention to our bone health. Ask your doctor to run a bone density test. Check for signs of osteoporosis. These are concerns more so as we get older because we often are deficient in calcium or even vitamin D. Again, we don't want you to go and take your own vitamins or supplements. We want you to talk to a medical provider about whether you should be adding these to your diets or what other foods might be higher in vitamin D and calcium. Saturated fats are healthier than unsaturated fats. Do you think that's fact or fiction? It, in fact, is fiction. You can see a nutrition label here on the screen. And in the section, kind of where the 5 is pointing, it says total fats. And underneath the total fats, it has saturated fats and trans fats. So for every product that you get that comes in a box or a bag or a can, it's going to have this nutrition label and it's going to tell you the total fat. But we're more concerned about the type of fat because saturated fats are the bad fats and unsaturated are the good fats. The worst fats are the trans fats. So on your label, it's going to have the total fat and then underneath it, the 2 bad fats. It's going to tell you how many grams of bad fats make up that total. Okay, and any other ones are the unsaturated. So looking at this particular label, 8 grams of total fat, and then there's only 1 gram of saturated fat and 0 of trans fats. So it tells me that this product has about 7 grams of unsaturated fat in it. Unsaturated fat is your good fats, your heart healthy fats. But no matter what, fat is fat and calories are calories. So if you're reading one of these things, you're like, well, it's not too bad. It's got good heart healthy fats. We still want to watch our portion size. So you're going above the calorie section and it tells me that a serving is 2/3 of a cup. So I want to make sure that even if I'm eating something, like nuts or peanut butter or, things that have, or fish that have good heart healthy unsaturated fats, I'm still not eating too much of it because I don't want to get too many calories and I don't want to get too much fat, even if it's the good kind. 1 cup of cooked or raw vegetables counts as 1 cup serving. This is correct. So whether it's cooked or it's raw, just 1 cup of vegetables counts as 1 cup serving. Unless it's leafy greens, then you need 2 cups of leafy greens to equal 1 cup. And I think you can kind of understand that when you think about the leafy greens, if you have a bowl of them, they kind of just take up like extra space. So that's why, you put it in a measuring cup and it's not going to be like a whole lot in that cup. So you're going to need 2 cups of leafy greens to equal 1 serving. There are 5 food groups. This is a fact. As you can see from the MyPlate, again, you can visit the USDA website at choosemyplate.gov, but there are 5 food groups. You have the fruits and vegetables, as I mentioned, should be half of your plate. The other half of your plate is made up of grains and protein with a little bit of dairy. All breads made with whole wheat flour or whole grains. What do you think about this one? Is it a fact or fiction? It's fiction. Just because it's made with whole wheat flour doesn't make it a whole grain. You need the first ingredient in a product to be a whole grain. So it needs to say, whole wheat flour, or if it's whatever product it is. If it's rice, if it's oats, if it's any of those things, the whole grain needs to be the first ingredient for it to be a whole grain product, unless the first ingredient happens to be water. Then it can be the second ingredient. At least 30 minutes of physical activity is recommended daily for adults. As much as you wish it wasn't true, yes, that is a fact. Adults are recommended to get 30 minutes of physical activity at least 5 times a week for a total of 150 minutes of moderate physical activity. If you are doing activities that are a little bit more vigorous and require more energy, then you can cut that time in half, and it's at least 75 minutes of vigorous physical activity. But most of us, especially as we get older, we're happy to get 150. If that seems like it's too much and you can't handle that, then just be lucky it's not more. Kids are supposed to get 60 minutes of physical activity. Foods that provide water can count towards our fluid intake. So thinking about fruits or vegetables that have, water, whether it's watermelon or you've got cucumbers or celery or different things that are made up of water, have water in it. Yes, it can. So if drinking water is too much for you and it fills you up or whatever, then substitute for a fruit or vegetable that also has water in it. Be careful of, not that fruits and veggies have a huge amount of calories, depends on what you do to it. But if you're substituting and not drinking any water and you're just trying to get water all from your food, you're probably not going to be getting enough. Okay. Registered dietitian nutritionists are experts in food and nutrition. Is this a fact or fiction? This is a fact. And just a couple of weeks ago on March 13th, we celebrated Happy Registered Dietitian Nutritionist Day. So it's an RDN. RDNs or RDs are very great resources to help you if you need one-on-one assistance with regards to your health and wellness, whether it's coming up with a specific, kind of diet or meal plan. They can get information about your overall health and wellness, whether you have any chronic diseases, what medications you're on, and they can kind of answer a lot of those medical questions about your health and wellness, and they can tell you, what's good to eat, what you need to stay away from, what you need more of. They could probably even recommend some vitamins and supplements or different things for you to try. Registered dietitians, unlike your general practitioner, they are required to stay certified. So every year, RDs or RDNs have to get enough continuing education hours, specifically on food and nutrition, in order to help their clients. So these are the best resources and can help answer all of those, specific nutrition or health and wellness questions. A lot of times your general practitioner, they just kind of tell you, you need to lose weight or diet or exercise or eat better or less salt or something like this. The registered dietitian nutritionist can really hone in what you can and cannot eat and what you should be focusing on. If you are interested in finding out where a registered dietitian nutrition is located near you, you can go to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics website at eatright.org. They can help provide or you put in your zip code and they'll tell you where one is near you. You don't have to have one near you because in a lot of rural communities, it's not something you're going to find regularly unless you are a patient at a hospital or at a specific, dialysis or cardiologist clinic or whatever else. But you can, nowadays with telehealth, you can have a phone call or a virtual meeting to get some one-on-one specific information and answer your questions. Most health insurances will cover at least a couple of sessions with a registered dietitian nutritionist. So check with your insurance. You might need a referral from your general practitioner in order to do that. But there's always one that will be near you, even if it's only a phone call away. So this is been our food or fact game, our food fact or fiction game during Small Farms Week. We hope that you learned a little bit of something this week, and hopefully you got to help us celebrate Small Farms Week this year. Thanks so much.